You ever been so exhausted that even blinking feels like lifting weights? Like your soul is stuck on a loading screen and you just wish you could hit Control plus Alt plus DL on your entire life? That kind of tired. Not just I didn't sleep well tired. I'm talking years of carrying invisible baggage tired. Like you've been lugging around a backpack full of emotional bricks for so long you forgot it's even on your back. If even a piece of that resonates, keep listening. Because we're not just talking about sleep here, we're talking about rest, real rest. The kind of rest that doesn't just recharge your body but gives your spirit a warm hug and says, hey, it's okay, we're good now. I mean, rest so deep it feels like hitting the reset button on your whole being, like you wake up with a blank slate, even if just for a moment, blissfully forgetting all the stress that was chasing you. That kind of magic. Before we go further, let me ask, have you ever opened your fridge 10 times in a row hoping a tasty snack would magically appear? Like, poof, maybe this time some snack fairy snuck a cheesecake in there when you weren't looking. We do that with peace too, you know. We keep checking our lives for relief, hoping one day we'll open a door and boom, there's the peace we've been missing. But real rest, real peace, it's not gonna just show up at your doorstep like an Amazon delivery. You've got to invite it in. And if your idea of resting is scrolling on your phone until your eyeballs ache, or marathon watching 5 seasons of a show just to drown out your thoughts, yeah, we're gonna fix that. Starting now. The Little Rest Hut, let me tell you a story. There was once a tiny village where everyone was always busy. I mean always. People rushing around with heavy loads. Dawn till dusk, no breaks, no breaths. Sound familiar? One day, this old woman comes into town, calm as a cloud, moving like a human yawn. She quietly builds a small rest hut at the edge of the market. Just a simple wooden bench inside, and a little sign on the door that says, come in, sit, breathe. That's it. No loud announcements, no magic promises. Most folks ignored her, and that hut, mumbling, who's got time to sit? I'm late for being overwhelmed. But a few people got curious. One by one they slipped into the hut, just for a minute or two, to sit on that bench and close their eyes. And you know what? When they came out they walked a little differently. Shoulders softer, smiles easier, not in a weird way, just at peace. Their burdens didn't disappear, but somehow they felt lighter. And here's the wild part, there was nothing magical in that hut. No healing crystals, no enchanted pillows, no secret potion in the walls. Just a pause, a permission slip to stop trying so hard, because sometimes the thing that fixes us isn't doing more, it's doing nothing, with intention. Rest isn't lazy, it's holy. Look, I know the world shouts that if you're not grinding 24/7, you're falling behind. Society tells us that rest is for the weak, or that you've got to earn it by burning yourself out. But behind what, exactly? A race no one even remembers signing up for. Nah, let me stop you right there. Rest isn't lazy, it's holy. Rest is not a luxury, or a reward, it's essential, as fundamental as breathing. And it's an act of defiance too. In a world that glorifies being busy, choosing to rest is a form of rebellion. It's you saying, I'm not a machine, and I refuse to live like one. And you know what? Even our phones get to power down and go on low battery mode when they're drained. Even the sun gives itself permission to set every evening. Even God took a day off. Yet here we are, thinking taking a nap or a time out is some kind of weakness or sin. No way, rest is resistance. It's you planting a flag and declaring, my worth isn't measured by productivity. I don't need to hustle myself into the ground to matter. It's stepping off that endless hamster wheel and lying in the grass instead, staring up at the sky because you choose to. Letting go of the weight, of course. Let's be real, resting isn't always easy. Especially when the moment you lie down, your brain decides to go into overdrive. You close your eyes and suddenly it's like, hey, remember that cringy thing you did 10 years ago? Let's think about that right now. Your mind starts blasting an infomercial of every worry, every what if, every embarrassing memory at you. And you're just lying there like, great, this is exactly what I needed at midnight. Thanks, brain. Sound familiar? We've all been there, trying to rest while an endless mental chatter plays in the background. That's why deep rest isn't just about closing your eyes, it's about opening your heart, and unclenching all those tight parts inside you. It's about letting go of all the mental junk and emotional baggage you've been carrying. half of which isn't even yours to carry. The guilt, the pressure to be everything to everyone, those fake expectations of perfection you somehow picked up along the way, drop them. Let them melt off you like a heavy coat on a summer day, because not all of that weight on your shoulders belongs to you, and you don't have to carry it anymore. Sometimes the deepest rest isn't sleeping at all. Sometimes it's sitting in silence with yourself, and not trying to fix a single thing, just breathing, just being, existing for a few moments with no agenda, and no to-do list taped to your forehead. You don't have to climb Mount Everest, or achieve something grand, to deserve a break. You're human, and that alone is enough. That's the only prerequisite for deserving rest, being a living, breathing person. You have permission to pause, anytime, no fancy spa, scented candles, or enchanted forest bath required. And rest can be beautifully simple. Sometimes deep rest looks like turning off all your screens, and sitting by the window, watching clouds drift by, as if they were your personal Netflix. Sometimes it looks like canceling those plans you made when you were in a better mood, and curling up in bed at 8 p.m., letting your body become a blanket burrito for a while. Sometimes it's having a long hard cry on the living room floor, and deciding that that's enough for today. Whatever form it takes, it's valid, it's healing. You deserve to rest, and listen, if no one has said this to you lately, I will. It's okay to stop, not forever, not because you're giving up on life, but because you need it, because you're human. You're allowed to press pause, to rest and recharge, and come back to yourself. You're not a robot, you're not some productivity app or factory machine that exists just to churn out work. You're a person, a messy, brilliant, tired, beautiful person, and you deserve rest, not as a reward, but as a right. Remember when we were kids and adults forced us to take naps? You'd be in the middle of your crayon masterpiece, or leading an expedition of action figures under the kitchen table, and some grown-up would scoop you up like, "All right, nap time." And oh, we hated it. We'd fight it like little exhausted warriors, whining, flailing, bargaining, for just 5 more minutes of play. Back then, rest felt like a punishment, something being imposed on us while we insisted. But I'm not tired. Fast forward to now, we're adults. No one's coming to enforce nap time anymore. No one to gently take the phone out of our hands at midnight, tuck us in, and whisper, "Hey, you've done enough today. It's okay to rest." Instead we push and push and push ourselves, and we call it being responsible. We don't get mandated nap times, we get burnout, and we still act like rest is some fancy luxury we haven't earned yet, when really it's as crucial to our survival as water. So let me be that voice for you, right now. Let me be the one who gives you permission that you don't even need in the first place. You have done enough today, even if all you did was get through the day. Even if your brain was foggy, and your heart felt heavy, and you barely scraped by. Even if the only thing you accomplished was changing out of your pajamas. And hey, even that is optional, sometimes. Even if the laundry is still in a heap, and your email inbox is overflowing with unread messages. Even if your to-do list is staring back at you, still annoyingly long, you are still worthy of rest. You are especially worthy of it. There's an idea I absolutely love. Rest isn't the absence of effort, it's the presence of peace. It's not about stopping because you failed, or because you're lazy. It's about pausing because you deserve to breathe. To find peace, even if it's a messy, not so picture-perfect kind of peace. See, real peace doesn't always come with tranquil music and gentle rainbows. Sometimes peace shows up amid your chaos, taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, sit down for a second, I've got you." Sometimes the calm finds you in the eye of the storm, when you finally decide to stop running. Because peace isn't born from perfection, or an empty inbox, or a finished to-do list. It comes from choosing yourself, even for one holy moment, amid all the noise. You don't need permission from anyone else to slow down. You don't have to check every box on some endless list before you're allowed to rest. You don't have to earn the right to peace and stillness. You already have it. You just have to remember that you matter, even without all the doing and achieving. Remember who you are beneath all those hats you wear, beneath all the roles and responsibilities stacked up on your back, like a wobbling Jenga tower. My friend, you are not your job. You are not your grades, your bank account, your followers, or your endless obligations. You are not your productivity, or your performance, or any of the metrics the world tries to slap on you. You are a soul, a story, a freaking miracle walking around in comfy socks and a t-shirt. And that all by itself is reason enough to let yourself rest, coming home to yourself. So tonight, or today, or whatever moment you have next to call your own, I want you to do something a little radical. Rest, like it's something sacred. Treat it as holy, not as a break from being a person, but as part of what makes you one. Rest like it's your birthright, because it is. Like it's the medicine you've been quietly needing, but forgetting to take. I want you to rest so deeply that your bones whisper, "Oh, thank you." So deeply that your spirit unfolds inside you, unclenching like a fist that finally lets go. So deeply that your whole being exhales a long soul-deep sigh of relief. Because this isn't just about being a bit less tired tomorrow. This is about coming home to yourself, reintroducing you to you, that quiet, calm version of you that's been patiently waiting underneath all the commotion. That soft inner center of yours that couldn't care less about how many emails you answered today, or how tidy the house is. The part of you that remembers you were never meant to drive yourself into the ground, that you were always meant to feel life, not just produce stuff. And maybe, just maybe, as you sink into that deep rest, you'll realize something, that the peace you've been chasing all this time, the relief and the wholeness you thought were out there somewhere, in the future, in the next achievement, the next milestone, the next high score of life, was actually here all along. It's been waiting quietly for you in the stillness, in those pauses you rarely gave yourself permission to take. Peace has been here, in the pause, waiting for you to notice. So whenever you're ready, close your eyes, take a breath that fills your lungs all the way down to your belly, deeper than you've breathed all week. Let the noise of the day fade out, just for a little while. Let that stillness you've been stranger to take the wheel. And remember this truth, rest isn't a break from your life. It's the part that makes living possible.